10 years ago, I divorced my husband. 2 years later, I married him again. Same man, nothing about him had changed. I need you to sit with that for a second, because if your marriage feels like it's slipping and you can't work out why, nothing else you do is fixing things in your marriage, I'm about to tell you something no one else can. I was the one who left. I was the one who went quiet. I was the one who said, I love you, and couldn't explain why I didn't want him anymore. So when I tell you what your wife is thinking and feeling right now and won't say to you, I'm not guessing. I'm not a coach reading it out of a book. I was in a marriage like yours. Here's what I know about you, because I've worked with a lot of men exactly like you in your situation. You're probably good at solving problems. It's probably what you do for a living. You run the business, you run the OR, you write the codes, and you probably close deals. Effort in, results out. That equation has never once failed you until now. This is the first problem in your life that got worse the harder that you worked on it and the harder that you tried. And every single thing you did seemed to push her further away. And that's the part that is really breaking you. Not just that your marriage is struggling, but that you can't seem to solve things. That one tool that built your entire life, effort, is the one thing that isn't working for your marriage. And if you can't fix this, then maybe you're thinking, what type of man and husband am I really becoming? You probably lie awake ruminating in your head, thinking, is she already gone? What is going to happen to my kids? That's the one thing that you can't say to a single person in your life right now, because you're the one who's supposed to have it all together. And admitting to the bleeding in your relationship has really caused you some self-doubt. So let me tell you what actually is happening, because it's not a mystery and it's not in your character. It's a behavioral pattern, and it has a name. It's called the demand withdrawal cycle. Researchers have studied it for over 30 years, and here's what they have found. It predicts divorce. It's one of the most reliable predictors that we have. It can measure in your body, your cortisol spikes during these conversations, which means part of you is reacting before you have even decided to. Here's how it runs. She goes quiet, you feel it, so you move toward her, you explain and ask her what's wrong, and instead she feels that pressure. She pulls back, her nervous system starts reacting, and when she pulls back, you read it as, I'm not trying hard enough, or I'm not trying the right way. And you try harder, which is more pressure. And then that creates more distance. Around and around your effort goes. And then you don't even realize it, but your effort is feeding her withdrawal, and her withdrawal is feeding your effort. And here's why I can explain this to you precisely. I was literally the same person as you are right now. I was the one who chased in the relationship. I was the one trying harder, and I couldn't understand why it was making everything worse until I got my master's degree in behavioral science, and I started studying and figuring out why I was causing cycles in my relationship and my marriage to be unhealthy or turn toxic. It wasn't until I took a clear step and looked at myself that I was able to communicate better, communicate under stress better, and learn that confidence that would make a relationship grow through rebuilding the trust and the intimacy. This is a piece therapy never has given you. Not because therapists are bad, therapists are great, but because most therapy hands you awareness. And awareness might not be something that you really needed to focus on in your relationship, because you're already aware that there's a problem. It might not be the missing ingredient. You don't have to have an understanding problem. You have a pattern problem, and you can't think your way out of a pattern if you don't know how to break it. So let me tell you how I ended up here. I married my husband for his ambition and his kindness, and I respected his drive. It's the same thing you'd recognize probably in yourself. What I didn't see was that I brought my own patterns into the relationship. I was the anxious one in our relationship. I overchased. I overcalled. I needed constant reassurance because I had never healed the insecurities within myself. I needed more attention than one person could reasonably give. And the harder I chased for it, the more I pushed him away. But here's the part that I didn't understand then. When I finally got the attention that I had been wanting and craving, I would check out, because I wasn't actually looking for connection. I was looking for proof that I was lovable. And no amount of attention from another person could heal what I had not healed within myself. So eventually, I filed and we divorced. And that's when I got serious, not emotionally, but behaviorally. Why do relationships actually break? What's happening underneath the fighting? Why do we fight? So I went back to school. I studied patterns, attachments, and regulation, and really behavioral psychology. And somewhere in the research, I found my own marriage sitting in that literature, the pursuer and the distancer. Me chasing, him withdrawing. I found my marriage in a footnote. So we did the actual work. not more talking, different behavioral patterns. We changed our behavioral cycles, and 2 years later, we got remarried. Same two people, completely different marriage. And my mission today, since then, has been simple: to get men like you the plan that I didn't have before it becomes too late and you end up filing. What I built is called the Reset Method. It's a 90-day behavioral coaching problem, and it works on one principle. A loop needs both inputs. You only control one of them, and one is enough to break things. Now, you cannot make her participate unwillingly. You probably have already learned that the hard way, but you don't need to, because if you stop feeding the patterns can't run. You're not negotiating with her. You're removing her out of the input from a system that can't run without it. Here's how we do it across for 90 days. Step 1, regulate first. We stop the bleeding. You learn to regulate your nervous system so you stop reacting, so the cortisol spike doesn't run into over-explaining. Until you can do this, nothing else will work. This is the input that we're removing. Step 2 is communicating without triggering. Most men communicate from emotion, and it lands as pressure. So you're going to learn how to be heard without setting off your defensiveness, because we want to have connection instead of conflict. Number 3 is become the person she fell for. We rebuild a grounded, non-anxious version of you, not the reactive, not the over-giving version that's not attractive. This is what is creating the safety that brings back the intimacy. Step 4 is consistency. New behavior has to outlast her just testing you. And trust me, she will test you, because she's watched you say that you're going to change and then revert back to the usual you. This is the step that makes it permanent. And this is why it's a 90-day method and not just a weekend. So every week we meet for 60 minutes, direct coaching, real feedback, and accountability. You're never doing this alone. Now I'm going to show you a few of my clients' testimonials and what they said about working with me. You have the rest of the testimonials under this video.
Hey, my name is Joshua, and I just wanted to shout out Coach Sarah, my relationship coach, and I have never found a coach as good as Sarah. I mean, I've tried therapy, I've tried couples counseling, tried books, just about anything you can name it, but I've never really been able to progress as much as when working with Coach Sarah. I think the best part about it is she really listens. I've never had such a judgment-free zone. And it's almost like a cheat code, because she's like my inside man. She's able to walk me through what women are really thinking and feeling. I've never had someone help me become a better communicator and leader. She really focuses on bringing the man out in me so that I can be a better partner. I really appreciate what Coach Sarah does. She's one of the best at what she does, the best I've ever found. And I highly recommend working with her. You're gonna walk out a better leader, a better man, and hopefully with a stronger relationship.
I didn't realize that I had lost the essence of who I was. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what sense. I didn't have sense of direction. I didn't know where I was going. And if you don't know where you're going, you can't lead anybody, because you can't even lead yourself. So I didn't know I had these issues until I talked to Sarah, and we actually sat down and had a few sessions until I understood, that I had some issues that I had to work on, that I needed to find out who I was first, so I could then lead my family. And because of her, I've actually learned how to become a better man, a better husband, and a better father. And I would say things are actually going a lot better now than they were before. If you guys don't know what you're doing, you need a sense of direction, you feel lost, or you're confused, or you feel like everything was going well and then it just didn't, you need to talk to Sarah, because she's going to 100% be able to open your eyes and help you understand what it is that's going on and what it is that you can fix. So don't give up, guys. Just get some help.
I was really on the fence about doing it. I saw it and I was like, you know what, this looks like I really need to do this. I was in a bad place. My marriage is falling apart and everything like that. And I really wanted to see what I could do to help myself, because obviously it takes two, and I felt like I needed to step up as a man and just improve myself. I signed up, I started doing it, and then I was like, crap, should I go through with this or not? So I actually reached out and I was like, can I get a refund? I was like really on the fence, really wanted to end up canceling. Well, fast forward, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I stuck it out, because Sarah was really great coach. She listened, she gave tips, tools, and everything you need to help communicate, guide, and all those things that you need to develop yourself. Now I'm way more confident in myself, more developed, really understanding on how to deal with things that I didn't in the first place. I was very reactive, and I just would spiral and do all these things. And with her guidance, I was able to gain more control of myself. So if you're on the fence about it and you're questioning it, I would say, go ahead, go for it. I think it's just good for you as an individual. You're going to gain a lot out of it for sure. She does have the group program too, and then it helps you really understand and see that you're not the only one going through some of these really tough times in your life. I mean, regardless of the outcome, I can guarantee you're going to grow, and you're going to develop yourself, and you're just going to have more self-confidence and more tools for your future, whether it's back in your marriage or moving on to the next person. Either way, really great, and I suggest doing the program. Sarah's a great person, really caring, and she actually helped a lot.
As you heard, Anthony almost quit. He signed up and days later, he asked for a refund. I see this in a lot of men. The moment that he paid, the anxiety welled up because something in him said, if I'm paying someone to fix this, then I failed. A person or a man should be able to fix things on his own marriage. I want to talk to you about that directly because it's a fallacy. It's probably the thing that's standing between you and this call. You didn't build your career by pretending you could do everything by yourself. You hired the people who taught you what you didn't know. You don't just do legal work on your own. You hire people to do that as well. You don't audit your own books. You hire someone to do that. So when something matters enough, you need to get a person who understands how relationships work, how marriages work, and how building back trust and intimacy and communication work. This is the most important thing in your life, your marriage and your family. This is why you've decided to not put it off and wait any longer. Getting here isn't the thing that means that you failed. It's the thing that most men like you do when something actually matters. Anthony figured that out. He stayed. You saw what he said. But if you think, hey, I've tried therapy, this is the same thing, it won't help. Therapy might give you an understanding and an awareness, but the problem was never awareness. It was a behavioral pattern that kept on repeating. And this gives you a plan and tools to know how to change those behavioral cycles. If you think it's too late for my marriage, maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. In my experience, the man still asking that question, still watching a video like this, usually has time. The ones who make the time for this are the ones that get the results. Here's what working with me looks like. The reset method is 90 days. Every week we meet, me or my team member is going to coach you directly via Zoom. We are giving you real feedback. You get the specific tools for your situation, how to regulate, communicate, and be the man you deserve to be and that she deserves to have. And lastly, we will keep you accountable and teach you how to stay consistent for the rest of your life. And you're not doing it alone in the gaps between calls. You have our availability between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday, where you can text us if you need additional support. You also get 90 days inside the Reset community, which is a private room of men doing the exact work at the same time as you. Most men in your position have no one they can really talk to about things in their marriage. Not one person. In the community, you're surrounded by men who keep you accountable, and we meet one time per week. You can do this with one of my coaches or me privately, one-on-one, or inside a small private group of men working through the same things. The investment runs between $4,000 and $8,000 depending on how much support you need. And there are payment plans. Most men are in it for around $150 to $250 per month. If that investment is genuinely out of reach right now, if booking a call and then finding out you can't move forward and it would be too painful, don't book the call. I mean that kindly. The call is 60 minutes of my week, and I only take on a few clients at a time. So I'd rather you have something that actually helps you with your marriage. So here's what I've built for men that can't invest. It's called the Legacy. It's the entire methodology, everything I teach my private clients in a self-paced program you work through on your own schedule. It's $497 and you can finance it too. And the best part is that you still get a community and you still receive 4 group calls with me or my team on a 30-day trial. So even doing this by yourself, you're not doing things alone. But if you can make the private coaching work, let me tell you what the other road actually costs. It's not what you think. Most men like you don't usually blow up their marriages in one moment. You're not going to have some dramatic ending. You're going to endure it. You'll carry this quietly another year, another 5, another 10, telling yourself it's just a season. That will come back on its own, the way you've been telling yourself for a while now. That's the real risk here. It's not divorce, it's staying complacent. 10 more years of the same thing. That's the real risk here, not divorce. 10 more years of the same thing, 10 more years of being complacent. That's what doing nothing costs. And it's the one option that guarantees nothing will change in your marriage. If any of this has landed, here's the next steps. There's a button below this video. Click on it and fill out the short form on the next page. It takes a few minutes and it asks you to be honest about what's really going on. Then you book a call with me. On that call, we do 3 things. I'm going to learn and I'm going to listen and understand and ask questions on what's happening in your marriage. I'll show you the specific patterns you're running and we decide together whether this is the right fit. If I'm not, I'll tell you plainly. The form matters. The men who write honestly get more out of this call. And I read every single form before we speak on the call. So please don't rush it. Fill it out, book the call. Let's find out what you're actually dealing with. You didn't get where you are by hoping things would magically work out on their own. You got here by getting the right people in your corner and doing the work. Your marriage deserves the same thing you give to everyone else. I've been on the other side of this. I watched a marriage fall apart. I chose the right fit for me with my husband and the right tools, and I rebuilt it. So I'm telling you now, it's not going to be easy. I'm going to challenge you. I'm telling you that it's possible, and there is a clear path if you're willing to walk through it. Your kids deserve a stable home. You deserve a marriage that feels like a partnership again and not roommates. And she deserves the best version of you that this work is built on. Please fill out the form. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Let's talk.